Hello, everyone, and welcome to the CasualPetitive Games Podcast, the podcast for anyone who loves games. We're back. It's been about 2 years since the last time we last recorded an episode. I was actually going through our YouTube just before this to see what the last thing we talked about was, and it was some Battle Spirits cards, funny enough. But we're back. We're back. We went to Gen Con. For anyone who's returning or new, my name is Eric, and I'm joined by Cameron. And we've got a special guest with us today, Jonathan, who went with us to Gen Con.
Yeah, first timer.
So
we never mind.
Well, no, I'm kind of interested what you were going to say, Cam.
I was going to say we popped his metaphorical go cherry go or whatever that cherry picking game is.
Yeah. I forgot how unhinged this is when we record these, mostly because of the cam element. You can never underestimate the cam element.
That's right.
No, he's the wild card, baby.
So, yeah, we just got back from Gen Con. It is Wednesday. We got back Sunday. We were 4 days of gaming. It was a blast. Jonathan's first Gen Con. We haven't officially recorded anything in 2 years, and I think the last time we were supposed to record something was a Gen Con recap for last year's Gen Con. So
we had considered it and talked about it, but we weren't really playing a game around that time still. From Battle Spirits. Funny enough, a couple months later, you and I would be driving down to Orlando, Florida to play in a Gundam tournament. Yeah. But, maybe the days of Bandai card games are behind us, Eric.
Yeah, maybe there's
time for a new publisher. Well, not a new publisher, but a new game to rise from a publisher that we know a little bit about.
Yeah, maybe there's a new card game that we're excited about that's making us want to bring the podcast back.
Yeah.
You'll just have to stick around and find out. I think this we'll get into that for sure, but I think this would be really fun to just kind of generally talk about the con. This is pretty loose, and we're just going to be talking about Gen Con 2026. So if that sounds interesting to you, stick around and listen to us chat about it for about an hour. Let's just jump into talking about Gen Con 2026. Anything from the con that was kind of like an unexpected hit for you, or something that like you had no idea it even existed going in, and then bam, there it is. It really like captured your attention.
I gotta say, we're going to be talking about this one a lot, I'm sure, and we've already hinted at it, but I really expected the Palworld trading card game to be a cash grab, something that probably didn't hold up very well, something that would sell very quickly but be a flash in the pan. And boy, was I wrong. Now I am really into how that game plays. I'm excited that it is selling like hotcakes, but also that there's a good game there. It's not just a cash grab. It's not just, hopefully not a scalper's delight, but a legitimate card game from Bushiroad. The art, dedicated art for the pals. It's not like stock art that I know of or screen grabs from the video game or anything like that. It is a fully fledged, pretty deep set one of a trading card game that reminded me a little bit of playing a Bandai card game from the ground up, which we've done a couple of times over the course of the last few years. But yeah, I'd say my biggest, there are a few, but the biggest one that really shocked me in a good way was the Palworld trading card game.
I think Palworld trading card game was definitely an unexpected hit for me as well. It was something that I thought we might casually get into. Like, I think even going in, I was like, I'll buy like a starter deck and see if I like it. And then ended up grabbing 2 booster boxes and 2 of each starter deck. And I was going to keep some of them sealed. And then after we played the game, I was like, nope, never mind. I'm going to open all of this now. And that definitely grabbed me. As far as like an unexpected hit as well, the Neuroscape TCG was really fun. I played in the tournament for that. Was really surprised by how much depth there is to that game. There were some moments that had my heart beating really fast, had my hands sweating. So really excited about that one as well. I think Palworld though is probably it's kind of what sparked us to even record this podcast episode, because we're just like, we should bring CPG back and like start making episodes and maybe have a dedicated Palworld podcast or something. So if that sounds interesting to you, comment below and let us know if you're on YouTube, or just like send us a message in the Discord if you're also excited about Palworld, because we're thinking about doing a dedicated Palworld podcast, or we might just do the CasualPetitive Games cast and just kind of throw in whatever games we're playing. Probably lots of Palworld. We'll see. But what about you,
I'm planning on
Jonathan?
playing it a
Oh,
lot at local level and beyond. Excited to hear some more about organized play with this game. And there is a dedicated website where we can simulate games online. So maybe we'll make some content for that too.
oh yeah.
So again,
What's that called, by the way? Just to plug
it's
it.
called palworldtcg.gg,
Okay.
and it is awesome. It shows average prices for the full art cards. It shows pull rates. It shows deck lists. And again, it has a digital play tester where you can play offline against bots or live games against other pal tamers. And yeah, I just see this thing taking off like a rocket. So I'm really hoping that's the case because I caught the Pal World bug. But yeah, Jonathan, as a newbie to Gen Con, I'm sure your answer is going to be a little different here, but in addition to what we're already talking about, tell us your quick thoughts on your first Gen Con.
Yeah, to give the listeners and viewers a little bit of background on me, I definitely fall more on the casual side than the competitive side of casual competitive games.
Great
uh,
name.
I have a deep love for games. I just don't always have the same amount of time to spend on them, but I do love them. I typically go for things with a little less complexity. Which, to add to what you said about the Palworld TCG, I deeply enjoyed playing that. It had some depth to it, but I pretty much got it like that. I'm really excited to keep playing some of that. This is another game that was a big hit for me that I had never heard of or was not expecting. And maybe it's just because I'm not as much in these circles. A big hit for me was Dice Throne. I really, really loved playing Dice Throne. It was so much fun. For those who aren't familiar, it's like a character battler with combined with Yahtzee. So your dice rolls are determining your abilities and your attacks. It's pretty low barrier to entry as well, which I always think is cool. You just buy an individual hero pack for $17 and you can play the game. I heavily enjoyed that as well as Pal World. I think those were the two biggest hits for me. Um, but overall, my thoughts on the con itself. I know that you guys had told me how big it was before I went, but I don't think I'd realized just the scale that I was going to be walking into until I walked in that first day. I told you guys multiple times that Thursday was like I kept replaying that old Star Wars line in my head of "You've taken your first steps into a larger world."
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I had a lot of fun being surrounded by so much stuff that I was interested in.
Yeah. It's it really is the best 4 days in gaming, and it keeps growing every single year. It's funny that I used to live in Indianapolis and I never went up until a few years ago when I had moved out of state. I was visiting anyway and I was like, "You know what? I've never done Gen Con." And now, I've gone the last 4 years in a row. Eric has come with me the last 3 years of the row in a row. And now it's going to be a little tradition for the three of us at the very least
Yes.
to get there every August. And man, yeah, it's a blast. It can be overstimulating for those of you who haven't been, but also it's a great place to catch up on board games that you may have missed. I looked up to see when Dice Throne was released. It was kickstarted in late 2017 and released in 2018. So it's still less than 10 years old, but it's been around for a long time, and everybody I've ever heard talk about it is always singing its praises. But once you get it on the table and you open up your first character and just start rolling the dice, man, it gets its hooks in you. I'm thinking about this one a lot as well. So very
Yeah.
cool game.
What impressed me
Uh,
about it the most was the balance. Like
yeah,
the game that you and I played. Do you remember that one game where I played with the Sun Elf hero?
Yes.
I don't remember which hero you played. Was it the Brawler?
I was playing the Mystic Barbarian.
Mystic Barbarian. Okay.
Or sorry, Mystic Brawler. I'm
Okay.
confusing. I have two. I have the Barbarian and the Mystic Brawler. I was playing Mystic Brawler in that game.
The game ended with me just barely squeaking out a victory with 1 HP left. So it was a constant back and forth battle throughout the game. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, trading blows. It truly was just like a tug of war. Man, it's so fun. That game in particular. I love a game where it doesn't feel bad when you lose. Like,
Yeah.
I just
Right.
had fun and I just wanted to play again. And actually, when we were teaching ourselves how to play it, we did the King of the Hill 3-player variant. And we were talking about this off the podcast, but I just really liked how there's a system in place to maybe prevent king making in a 1v1v1 version of Dice Throne. It says when you attack the player that has the most HP, they are considered the leader, and you end up getting a little more resource and some card draw when you target the player in the lead. I think that does a really good job of just being like, oh, okay, we're doing threat assessment actively. We get rewarded for it. Everybody stays in the game till the very end, it feels like. And I like that. It's a really cool way for the three of us to approach the game and learn it, and in future play sessions, play against each other without it feeling like a feels bad game. So yeah, again, just overall really impressed with all the mechanics in Dice Throne and just how fun it was to play, how addicting it was.
Yeah.
With that said, I mean, we've kind of already covered a lot of our favorite games from Gen Con, but I think it'd be fun to do like these were our top 3 personal like favorite games from the con. So I'll just kick it off because I think there'll probably be some overlap between our lists. But I think number one for me was definitely Palworld. I am super excited to get back into a trading card game, build decks, theorycraft, playtest decks online, play in competitive events, and go travel and do all that. I think Palworld is a game that I could see myself doing that for. Number 2 for me is kind of a funny pick. Cam, you're gonna love this. I think my number 2, and this is just like, this is such a weird pick because it's like, this is a game that's been around forever, but the Pokemon TCG, I think, was my number 2 pick for the con, just because it was I've obviously known about Pokemon TCG. I've owned a bunch of Pokemon TCG cards in the past. I've opened packs. I've looked at cool shiny Pokemon cards and thought they were neat. This was my first time ever experiencing truly playing the trading card game and building like a meta relevant deck for the trading card game. And it was just so much fun at the con to hunt down specific cards and look for alt art versions of cards that were in my deck, and see if I could find I found a couple cards that were in my deck that I was building alt art versions in a $2 binder or a dollar bin, and I'm just ooh, okay, that's a good deal for those, And it was just fun getting immersed into that for the first time at a convention. There's people around me buying and selling and trading Pokemon cards, and I'm talking to them, and we're looking through bulk bins together, and it was just a blast. That was one of my favorite moments, was looking through a bulk bin of Pokemon cards with you at the con. So kind of a weird second pick because it's a game that's been around forever, and it's kind of funny that my foray into it was at Gen Con, but it is what it is. And yeah, third, the Neuroscape TCG. So all three of my top games, I think, were TCGs. I had a blast playing Neuroscape, and I'd like to dive into that more and explore that world more and see where that game goes. But
that definitely tracks as the most competitive of the trading card game players out of the three of us, I would say. That your top 3 picks are the TCGs. But real quick before we move on, talk about the Neuroscape TCG a little bit more. You played in an event for it, and it's pretty exciting from what I hear.
So for anyone who's interested in it, it's a trading card game made by these 2 dudes. I mean, the team is bigger than the 2 dudes, but they're kind of the face of, it's just how CasualPetitive games is me and Cam, but it's also bigger than us because we have other people who join us and talk about games and things. And of course, Angel, who's not here with us right now, but he's alive. Don't worry. He's
Yeah,
just, he's just he's just busy and didn't come with us to Gen Con. That's why he's not here. But we'll have him on something in the future, I'm sure.
Definitely.
But Neuroscape TCG, you have two different health pools. You have bioframe and mainframe, I think is the other one. So there's like blue health, red health. One represents like, you know, in cyberpunk terms, the red represents like your meat body, and then the blue represents your like neuro brain, you know, hacker body, whatever. So like meat space and net space are kind of like the two different realms where you're battling. And it plays just like Magic, really. Like you know, you're building up resources, and then you use those resources to play characters, and then those characters fight each other, and you're attacking the other player, and you can block attacks, and like sometimes you can't block an attack because it has some sort of ability. So pretty like the bones of it are definitely like standard TCG stuff, but the two health pools are actually quite interesting, mainly from a deck building perspective, because there are some cards that are very, very good, but if your main source of damage that you're building your deck around is to attack someone's mainframe, if that character does like bioframe damage, they're not really very good at attacking the other player directly. So you have to think about that. But there's also some cards that even if they have a damage type that doesn't match up with your main game plan, your main strategy, they might have a really good ability that makes them worth including anyways. So I played in a sealed event. I ended up making the top 8. I ended up essentially like scooping my first game in the top 8. I was extremely tired. We had played through a tornado warning.
Oh my gosh, I forgot that was the same night.
Yeah, the boys, all of us really wanted to just get out of there and go to Applebee's at this point, which I also want to talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I made the top 8. I ended up scooping because I misplayed a bunch of stuff, and it got to a point where like I had created this weird game state where even though the judges had helped us like reset it, I was like, even if I win this, I don't really feel very good about it, and I've done what I needed to do here, so I'll just scoop and go get some Applebee's. But it was a fun game. I would like to explore it more. Again, Neuroscape TCG. It has a cyberpunk setting, not to be confused with the cyberpunk TCG. I did not get a chance to play the cyberpunk TCG, though. All of the playtest sessions were like sold out. I wasn't able to actually play it. I did kind of hover over there for a second just to like see what that game was all about. And again, I didn't play it, but just from talking to people and also watching it be played, I think Neuroscape is actually more of a TCG that I'm interested in. Like in that realm of like cyberpunk themed TCGs, I think Neuroscape actually looks a little more interesting to me personally. You guys want to, before obviously we'll get to your top 3 lists, do you guys want to talk about the Applebee's thing really quick since it came up?
Yeah, since we brought it up.
So all 3 of us were competing in tournaments during Gen Con weekend, and we decided to kind of add a little challenge to our tournament competition. So
A gentleman's wager.
Yeah, exactly. So we knew we were going to go to dinner at Applebee's on Saturday night. And so what we decided to do is, since we're all competing in a tournament, we basically like made a bet based on our placing. So first place gets to get drunk at Applebee's. So you just get to drink a Shark Bowl, whatever other drinks you want, and just be drunk, be a drunkard because you're celebrating, you won. Second place is you don't necessarily win anything, but you do have to buy the first place player their drink. And then third place was you have to be the designated driver. Honestly, was super fun. I think we should keep that as a tradition going forward.
I like it. It was really fun.
It influenced my decision in the top 8 where I'm like, you know what? I already won the Applebee's bet. I made top 8. So I'm like, I can draw. I got my win. You know, I got.
Yeah.
You guys
sure did.
You guys competed in a Keyforge tournament, though.
We
did. I also played in an Ascension deck building tournament, and I feel like I did better there. So that's what I, did my placement based off of. Almost made the top 8 cut, just not quite. As a big Keyforge player. Listeners of the previous episodes of the CPG will know what we're talking about. I love that game. Along the lines of Dice Throne, the barrier of entry is just you buy a deck and you can play it. And that's exactly what Ghost Galaxy, who owns Keyforge right now, decided to do at Gen Con for the first time since buying the game. They held an actual qualifier for their Worlds event at Gen Con. So we were getting ready to head down, and I was like, hey, Jonathan, there is a ticket for this sealed tournament. It's a great time to jump back into the game. A new set just came out a couple months ago. Complexity level pretty low. But the cards have, evolved and gotten a little more powerful. I like where Draconian Measures sealed, that's the latest set, is, and I like the way that it plays in a sealed environment. And Ghost Galaxy said this is even a traditional sealed event, meaning you pay for your entry, you get 3 decks, and you play one of them. You don't deconstruct, you don't build an alliance like another one of their formats. It's just strict sealed. And Jonathan's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's jump in. We bought a couple decks on Thursday, played a couple games, and then by Saturday morning, we were both equipped to just play in a qualifying tournament. I did very poorly. I went 0-3 in my first 3 rounds, played 5 rounds of Swiss anyway, and I did manage to win my last 2 games. But as a quick note to that, the deck that I played and committed to for all 5 of those games has now become one of my favorite decks for a format called Adaptive, where you and your opponent each bring a deck, you play, then you swap decks. And then if the same deck wins twice, you bid a mechanic called Chains on the winning deck, and you try to win that best 2 out of 3. If a single player wins both games, you don't move on to the third game. So I'm in an online league with that kind of format. Brought this deck home just this week, played it in my adaptive match, and it played pretty much exactly like I wanted it to. I know the deck a little bit and can play it well. My opponent mentioned that he felt it was a very tricky deck to maneuver. And I just think that's really cool. And since we were talking about Dice Throne, I feel like that's what the characters look like to me, is like someone might really resonate with a complexity level 5 character, but I might just want to smash things and play my barbarian complexity level 1. And I just think it's a testament to the game. As a fan of the game and as a friend of Jonathan, who, used to come to our locals, got a little busy. We'll probably see him back. It was really neat to see that love of Keyforge reignite in you and to play at such a high level event with you over the weekend.
Yeah. I mean, I played Keyforge pretty regularly for about a year and a half to 2 years, and then things at work got a little crazy. I wasn't able to make it out pretty much at all anymore, or just was a little too tired and just needed to catch up on things at home. But that also speaks to how great of a game and how much I love Keyforge is that I was able to jump back in and not really miss a beat, even though I didn't do particularly well in this tournament. I placed a little bit below you. I still really liked my deck. I liked some of the things that it was doing, some of the things that it wanted to do. I just didn't draw very well in some of those games. I feel like if I had had some luckier draws, I would have maybe squeaked out an extra win. But regardless, I had a great time, and that's the type of game that keeps you coming back, is one where you genuinely had a lot of fun even when you lose. I'm excited to keep playing more Keyforge. And I'm also just excited to have Keyforge just as something where even if I have to take a break from it, I can come back so easily. There's so many decks out there, even if, and obviously we hope this doesn't happen, but if it loses support at any point, it's not going to stop us from playing.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Yep. And there's a huge online community that supported the game through COVID, through ownership shifting hands, and even to today. So I actually got to meet a guy named Wigsby on Discord, who I knew from watching a Board Game Geek show called T-Forge. They had a few episode run there on Board Game Geek, and was talking with him about it. And it was really cool to just, meet someone that I had seen from the online community. I feel like I have a story like that every year. Last year it was Sydney Steele from the Help from Future Self podcast. We had a lot of fun playing some IRL Keyforge for our online leagues, but then also in some events at Gen Con itself. So yeah, great game. Very, very fun. And yeah, Jonathan, you want to just go into your top 3 from the weekend?
Yeah, I can go to my top 3. I'll start at 3. Well, actually, I do want to give an honorable mention to Keyforge just because it's a game that I already knew about, but I'm so happy to have played it again for the first time in a while and have that love for it reignited. But into the top 3, I think at 3, I think I've got to go with Palworld TCG. I loved it. It was so much fun. I can't wait to play it with you guys. But I think, like I talked about with you guys multiple times on the trip, I sort of give a little bit of preference myself to games that I can bring to people who aren't in that TCG space and try to get them to play. I have some family who likes games but isn't really, they don't like them enough to play a TCG. I just want to be able to bring any game that I love into any sphere of my life and potentially be able to get somebody to play. Second spot, I got to give a shout out to a game that we did from a really small new company that we did a learn to play event for. It was called Legends of the Arena. It's this company's first game. I believe it was Toth Games, TOTH.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
I think it's two brothers, Brian and Michael Toth, or Toth, whichever one it is. So it's a board game inspired by Smash Brothers, and
it feels like it.
It feels like it. The mechanics were really fun. So essentially, you have 3 moves that you make per turn, and they happen based on speed, which is a mechanic on the top left of the card. And you and all the other players set the order of your moves before you go, and then all turn those cards over simultaneously. But there's 6 cards set out. It's basically your arena. It's like a horizontal arena, same way as Smash Brothers. You get a certain amount of hits on another character, and they get knocked back. And your goal is to try to knock them off the stage, and whoever gets the most knockouts wins. For their first game, it was pretty seamless. I didn't really feel like there were any major issues with it. I'm curious to see what you guys thought of it. After I say that my number 1, of course, had to be Dice Throne.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's the one that I'm going to be able to really get into and bring into a lot of different spaces, get a lot of different people to try it. I just love being able to share fun games that I find with all kinds of different people who may not be in that space. And that's one where I feel like I can go play in a tournament with people who are really deep into it, and then I could also pull it out with friends that don't know much about it, and they'd probably be willing to try it. And I'm excited to do that.
I could see our group each kind of, gravitating towards a character from our collection as the 3 of us. And some pretty fun friend hang tournaments could happen. I'm also signed up for a tournament next weekend.
I ended up signing up for that too.
Yeah, so we're
wait. I want to go.
Going.
I want to go to this. Wait, where is it?
All right, it's not this Sunday, but next Sunday.
Oh, okay.
At Game Point Cafe.
Okay.
East Nashville.
I'll sign up.
Yeah.
That'll
so apparently it's a bring 3, ban 1, and then you play your matches with other people. So I'm already 2/3 of the way there to having a deck, if we were talking in Beyblade terms.
Yeah.
And yeah, it looks really, really fun. There's a big Nashville Dice Throne presence apparently.
So I need to get 2 more characters, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I better go shopping.
Yeah.
I did enjoy Dice Throne, I will say. It didn't end up in my top 3, but I did enjoy it quite a bit. And I think if you guys are getting into it especially, I think it'll just take me further into it. I do kind of like, though, that as someone who enjoyed it but didn't like fully catch the bug, I was able to buy a single character for $17. And just like, I can hop in and play with you guys. I have my 1 character and I can play it. Sounds like I
Yeah.
need to get 2 more if I want to play in tournaments. And now that we're talking about tournaments, now we're talking my language. So
That's right. Exactly. Yeah, I'm pumped on that.
By the way,
And that's another one.
you casually mentioned Beyblades, and I want to return to that in 1 second because that's something we haven't
Yes,
talked about.
that's
since...
something we have not talked about,
but
Yeah.
but
but is a big part of your life and will
Yeah.
probably make some appearance in future CPG content.
It
So
will.
if you're a blader out there, just wait. Just wait. But yeah, I wanted to talk about Legends of the Arena from Jonathan's list. We had discussed it a lot again, you know, because we were all together for Gen Con. But just real quickly, some highlights for me on that game especially were it was one of those games where, you know, it's inspired by a video game, right? And there are a lot of board games that are inspired by video games, sometimes literally just board games of the video games, right? That's a big sub-market, I feel like, that pulls a lot of people in. This is its own original IP, which is really neat. But obviously, yeah, some of the mechanics are based off of video game mechanics. And I just want to say that I think they translated to a tabletop space really, really well.
Yeah.
Because in Super Smash Brothers, right, you're putting some damage on the other players, and they have that little percentage number down at the bottom of the screen. And as that gets a little bigger and bigger and bigger, it's easier to knock them off of the screen, right? So in this game, they have a fatigue tracker, and as you take more and more strikes, you get more and more fatigue. And then when you do a push check, this is all just a very quick rundown of the game, but you look based on your fatigue, and then you start getting pushed further and further until someone can just come in and do a haymaker on you and knock you off of the battlefield. And whoever gets that final hit on you will get the knockout point. And it just felt like an exciting match of Super Smash Brothers, but in a way that wasn't like, oh, I wish I was playing the video game right now.
Yeah.
It was, I'm enjoying playing this as a tabletop experience. I really enjoyed it.
That
It
was
was the right amount of transformative, right amount of familiarity.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was something that you said when, like, off the pod that we were talking about was this is one where when I play it, I don't feel like I wish I was playing the video game instead. Because there's so many of those adaptations where, like, I don't know. I don't want to throw any direct shade, so I guess I won't call anything out. But there's some games where I'm playing it and I'm like, this just feels like the video game with way more extra like too many extra steps. I'd rather just play the video game, you know? And there's very few of those games that I've actually played them and been like, okay, I can see why I would play this instead of the video game. It was really fun. And yeah, huge shout out to them for being like indie game designers making an awesome game. And also just putting in the effort to show up at Gen Con with your game, show it to people. It takes a lot of guts to do that.
It does.
I don't remember the entire conversation, but I think when I was talking to them on day 4, because I went back, which by the way, we didn't mention this, but the winner of the Learn to Play event got a free copy of the base game, which is very generous for a brand new company and brand new game.
Which was Eric, by the way, keeping score.
I gave it to Jonathan though, because I felt like he would get more joy out of it. So.
And I have, thank you.
Yeah.
But no, I went and bought the expansion just because I wanted to make sure that we could support him in some way. But I remember talking to them, and I don't know if they meant like the final copy of the game or if it was like them actually getting the booth space at Gen Con. I was sort of like a little fatigued by the final day of the con, so I don't remember exactly what he was talking about when he said this, but he said something about having only just gotten it 12 or 13 days ago. So I'm assuming he either meant the final copy of the game or the booth space. Either way, that's amazing. And to have a game that was pretty well polished and really fun to play at that stage, really impressive.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. If you're looking to support a very indie developer, get in on the ground floor of a very cool game. That's Legends of the Arena by Toth Games.
Also, try to include links to all the games we're talking about in some way in the description. If you're watching this on YouTube, it'll be there. Cam, you want to go into your top 3?
Yeah, so definitely Palworld was up there for me because, man, we kind of lucked into it. We're like, this is probably going to sell. So on Thursday morning, we should just head straight there just in case, because I knew I wanted to get at least some product, and was really glad that we did that. Dice Throne, I can't stop thinking about it. That's got to be my number 2, and both for similar reasons. The fact that I can play this casually with my friends, but also competitively with at least Eric, Jonathan, if you're going to travel with us too, that'd be sick. Dice Throne, we're already signed up for a tournament that feels pretty CasualPetitive because it's it's close to home, but it's a registered event and it'll be a big deal, and I'm excited to learn how to play at that kind of level with it.
I can't wait for
'Cause I
somebody
feel
who
like-
knows more about the game to tell me I've been playing my character wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I just want to know we're playing the rules right.
Yeah.
So it'll be a cool learning experience. I'm just excited for that. I love a game where I know I have a community built in for it at a casual level, but then also competitive to look forward to. I was feeling really nostalgic about Battle Spirit Saga the week leading up to Gen Con, so that really just immediately elevated my entire experience at Gen Con on day 1 because it was just something I was really excited about and looking forward to. My third game is gonna be Magical Athlete.
Ah.
So
Oh my gosh, Magical Athlete is so fun.
it was so cool. So shout out to Jordy, our buddy, one of my longest friends, or oldest friends. You know what I mean. That was just a weird way to talk about Jordy.
Someone
but
you've been friends
no,
with the longest. He's
yeah.
He's not an extremely long individual or very
Right.
old. So
Right. He's just, I've known him since, like we were 10. So he brought this up and actually brought it to my house for 4th of July. We had a big group hang last month, but we didn't get this on the table. However, when we were all tired and back from the bars, he's like, Smosh played it. So he put it up on the screen and we watched Smosh play it, and I was like sold then. So
Played it.
I saw someone on Thursday walking around with the box, and I was like, oh my gosh, Magical Athlete. I should look for that. I should just pick that up. On Friday morning, went to the Asmodee booth after finding out that they are distributing the copy there at the con, and waited in an hour-and-a-half line because there were Star Wars Unlimited and Star Wars Legion Gen Con exclusive promos up for grabs. But boy, was it worth it. Picked up my copy and then found out that this was an older game designed by Takashi Ishida and updated by Richard Garfield.
of course.
Which Eric was like, leave it to Richard Garfield to take a great game already and add card drafting into it.
Yeah.
And the art is by Angela Kirkwood. It's really wacky and zany. It's just a racing game with basically it's the simplest thing to do on your turn. You roll a die, a standard 1 through 6, and you move that many spaces. But every character has a according to the website, deeply unfair game-breaking power. And the official way you play is you draft 4 racers. You play both sides of a board that comes with it, and at the end of 4 races, whoever has the most points wins. It's like the Grand Prix in Mario Kart. But the way that these racers interact with each other, the components of the game being just adorable, cute wooden standees for every racer, and the cards just being beautiful and really nice card stock. It's like a $30 game. It's incredible. It's very fun, very wacky. It's not super serious. Great loading game, great drunk game, but it's also a great family game. I have a 9-year-old niece and a 5-year-old nephew. They both played it. They both loved it. My brother, he's like, I got to order this game because when you leave, Beckett, my nephew, is going to be so sad that it's not here. So they like fast shipped it from Amazon the next day. So they own a copy. My parents already bought a copy for when the kids come over and play it, so I'm gonna teach them how to play it this weekend, and I'm just looking forward to it. I it was awesome. I knew I would enjoy it, but getting to see everybody who plays it, like, it clicks in their head like, "Oh, this is so goofy," was super fun.
While y'all were playing that
It
upstairs,
was a
I was
blast.
I was downstairs like organizing my stuff and like freshening up, using the bathroom, whatever.
Uh-huh.
It sounded like, and I would and it this was confirmed when you all came down. Beckett is obsessed with that game.
Yes, he was so into it, won a couple of times too,
Yeah.
like, it's a game anybody can win. But yeah, check it out, Magical Athlete. Smosh plays it if you wanna see how it plays, it's super fun. And the last thing I'll say about it real quick was just, for example, of an interaction of an entire race between me, my brother, and my nephew. Beckett had a character, that says basically, if anyone is in front of him, he can warp them back to his space before he does his main roll. So my brother's character said whenever a character lands on your space, shares a space with you, you yell duel, you both roll a die, and whoever rolls highest gets to move 2 spaces. And my character said anytime another player's character uses their ability, I scooch forward 1 space. So it turned into Beckett would warp someone back, I would scooch up, they would duel, I would scooch up again, and then since we were so close in the race, whoever won that duel would then move forward onto my space. So if it was Austin, we would duel, which would trigger my ability to scooch 1, and then whoever won that duel would move forward 2 spaces, leaving Beckett behind. So on Beckett's turn, he would warp someone back to his space, and the whole thing would just keep going. And we were just laughing, and the race was super close all the way around to the end of the board. And I think my brother ended up winning that one.
How fun is it
But
that
it's
there's
just a
a
blast.
game that you can enjoy as an adult who has played so many games and
Yeah.
and played games at a competitive level also, like
Yeah.
um and then also here's your nephew who is just stepping into the world of games, and
Yeah.
you both can play and be on equal footing and both have a great time. Like, how
Yes.
many games are there like that? I can't really think of many. It's
Exactly.
usually like if a game is watered down enough to where I could teach it to like my niece. I play some games with her. There's very few games that I can play with her that feel like I am having fun while she is also having fun. It's
Yeah,
really hard to strike that balance.
it is. And so yeah, it was just special. It's really fun. I can't wait to keep playing it. I feel like I was watching a core memory being shaped into my nephew. Like he's going to be, like whenever down the line he's going to be like, "Remember that game that we played when I was a kid?" I'll be like, "Absolutely, I remember that game that we played as a kid because it was fun as hell."
Man, when he's older, it'd be so awesome if him and your brother come to Gen Con for at least one of the days. That'd be a
That'd be
blast.
awesome. I think that'd be really cool.
That'd be really fun.
There's a lot for everyone of all ages to see and do there, obviously.
Mhm.
But if you haven't been, it's not so obvious. But like, man, best 4 days in gaming. Like, you don't have to take our words for it. Just come and
Just
hang out.
just go.
It's a great time. It is a great time, other than the tornado warning.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, there was water leaking through the ceiling when that was happening,
Yeah,
and the food trucks outside. I feel so bad for them. They got destroyed.
Yeah.
Like, not like actually destroyed, but it fucked up their day.
yeah,
Yeah.
It was bad.
Like flung their tents all over the place, and
Yeah.
yeah. It was it was a little apocalyptic when we're all in, the exhibition hall and everybody in the room's phones go off with national severe weather alert going off at the same time. So,
Yeah. And they announced
I
over the
don't
microphone, the intercom too. They were like, "We are presently under a tornado warning. Do not
yeah.
panic."
Yeah.
I was
And
hyper fixating on the little pause that they said between the words tornado and warning. It was like a
yeah.
pre-recorded thing, and it was like, "We are currently under a tornado warning."
Yeah.
Do
I don't
not
know why I was
panic.
hyper fixated on
Yeah.
that.
Which, to their credit, like, I feel like that went as possibly well as it could have
Oh
with
yeah.
80,000 people in one building. Uh no one freaked out.
Yeah.
Everybody just kind of moved into the inner room. It passed within about 30 minutes, and everyone at the con, as far as I know, was very good about just being like, we're good, just stay in here.
Yeah.
Move tables out of the way. Tried their best to catch all the water ripping into the con. I'd never seen anything like that.
Huge shout out
And
to the Neuroscape TCG guys, by the way, because I was in the middle of that tournament and they checked with the organizers of Gen Con to be like, or checked with somebody to be like, hey, are we in the safe area? And they were like, okay, cool, we are. We're playing this tournament in the area that people are supposed to move into. And then they checked with us and they were like, do you guys want to just keep playing or do you want to, like, what do you want to do? And all of us were like, yeah, let's just keep playing. Like, I'd rather just wait this out by playing a card game. You know, what else am I going to do?
Yeah.
So
plenty of stuff to stay entertained and keep your mind off of the straight line winds rolling through
yeah.
Indianapolis, the Windy City, they call it.
Also, a really odd thing that happened. We were leaving the con that day, and then a light fixture on a stairwell just starts sparking and bursts into flames right in front of us. That was really terrifying for a moment.
Yeah,
It was strange.
I ran inside and I told one of the security dudes, and I was like, there's a fire? And he was like, what, where? And I was like, it's outside. And I was like, just trust me, just come look. And then he came and looked. And then I don't know what happened, but we heard fire trucks. We were leaving, so we heard fire trucks. So I'm pretty sure they maybe called the fire department. But man, I don't know.
By the time we walked past it, it had stopped being on fire, but like it was just this light fixture on the side of a
the stairwell just leading into the convention center.
I've never seen flames shoot out of something like that before.
No, it was wild. And it startled me, and I did scream.
You did.
Yeah.
All right. Kind of wrapping up our Gen Con talk, and then we'll kind of get into a little bit of what we've been up to since the last time we did a podcast. But just this section, just anything else you want to add. I'll kind of start it off just so you get a feel for kind of what I'm talking about. There were a lot of things I had my eye on this year that I just didn't get. And that's kind of just part of the Gen Con experience. You have to be okay with the fact that, certain games are going to be sold out, or, the event you wanted tickets for is sold out or whatever. There was a game called Drillers that I was interested in trying. Didn't end up getting to try it. It looked cool, but it's also like a much longer game than I typically like to play. So it's fine that I didn't get to play it, but maybe somebody has it and I'll get to try it someday. The Japanime Games booth, which I spent a lot of money at last year, unfortunately and also fortunately did not have a lot of new stuff this year. So there was nothing there that I really wanted to buy. Cam, you wanted these too, the Persona play mats and deck boxes and sleeves and stuff. I really wanted those, and then they didn't have them, but you could do like a pre-order, so I might do that later. But in a way, kind of thankful that they didn't have it. Saved me a lot of money.
I agree. I agree completely. Like, we left mats at home. We were like, we're just gonna go there day one, buy some Persona 3 mats and sleeves. Because we would have gone a little overboard.
Yeah. With that said, though, last thing I want to bring up, I had such an amazing time chatting with and talking to people that I have seen at the con time and time again, and also some new people. One of the days I wore an Expedition 33 cosplay, which actually was my first time ever cosplaying at Gen Con. That was my first time ever doing that. And it was so awesome, just people coming up to me and talking to me about Expedition 33. I loved it. It was awesome. It was also great to see Sammy Castillo. She's an artist there that we buy art from every single year. This year she drew me I'll have it up on the screen for the YouTuber people. She drew me Puck from Animal Crossing. And the way that she does her art at the con is so fun because she makes it all live at the con. So I went and told her what I wanted, and then she's like, okay, I'll text you. Last year she made me Char Aznable eating a cheeseburger from Gundam. Cool. And she is just an awesome human being, and I love buying stuff from her every con. Her stuff is also super reasonably priced. I got a piece of custom artwork for like $40, which is she made it at the con. Like it's crazy. I definitely love supporting her, and I love talking to her too because she has all these like worlds that her characters live in. She has like custom characters that she has created, and they all exist in this fantasy world that she's creating. She's supposedly releasing a book, hopefully at next Gen Con, so I'm excited to pick that up and read more about her characters and see more art from them. Some other people it was great to see, like Jason at Face Shift Games or Jane over at Incredible Dream. Just some
Mhm.
people I check in with every time at Gen Con, and it's awesome that we have this like gaming community, and we all kind of keep up with each other and meet up at this convention every year. And also just one of my favorite Magic the Gathering artists was at Gen Con this year, Omar Rayan.
Yeah.
He painted the some of the lands from the original Lorwyn set, and I was able to get a couple of my original Lorwyn cards signed by him. And because I didn't get the Persona playmat, I decided to get a playmat of his art. So that was the playmat I was using this year, and it was really awesome just to meet him and talk to him. And like, where else am I gonna have one building with all of these incredible people inside of it, and I can just walk up
Yeah.
to them and talk to them like that?
Yeah.
That never
That's
happens.
something that, that's something that I definitely want to also shout out is like I was not aware until that first day when I walked in how much good art and how many good artists were at the con. So there's in the vendor hall about a fourth of it is artists. Some of them are smaller. Some of them are do a lot of work for games. Like somebody I bought something from has done a lot of work for like official work for Dungeons and Dragons, for I think Star Wars, either Legions or Unlimited, for Magic the Gathering. But then there was also some people who were just trying to get started and don't have a lot of like officially licensed work yet, but their art was no less impressive.
Yeah.
And then authors as well. There were plenty of books being sold. I'm not a huge reader, but for those who love reading, there's plenty to look at there as well, especially in this type of space where there's lots of fantasy and sci-fi and kinds of things to be had. So, as in addition to being the best 4 days in gaming, it's really one of the best 4 days in art and creating in general because there was just so much creativity in that room. It was cool.
It is cool. It is really neat. Yeah, that's something I forget, and I'm glad that you highlighted that and mentioned that. Is it is a board gaming convention, but like it encompasses like all sorts of fandoms, all sorts of hobbies, but really brings them all together in one melting pot. And it is cool that you go there for certain things, but then, there's 4 full days to just really go in there and experience it all. And just from an outsider looking in, Jonathan, I feel like you did a really good job at balancing all of what was being thrown at
Thank
you
you.
for your first Gen Con.
Yeah.
And everyone, if you are even remotely interested in anything that would fall under a nerdy fandom, you gotta
Yeah.
check out Gen Con in Indianapolis. It's fantastic.
If you like anything nerdy, you will find something that you enjoy at Gen Con.
Yeah. You can buy a lightsaber.
Yeah,
And we almost did.
We almost
you almost did. I still might. You know that coupon code is active until the 10th.
You got a few more days.
You know what's something, speaking of coupon codes, you know what's something I did this year that I think has been an option every year, but I've just never
I'm
done?
glad you did
I
it.
went and got a coupon book at the will call line, and there's like incredible deals in there on things. Like
Yeah.
just randomly 10% off at some booth that you were going to buy stuff from anyways. So
I got 10% off a Stoneblade.
that's awesome.
Yeah, you gave me that coupon that was $5 off of Doomlings, which is a $20 game.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so I just
that's
paid
huge.
$15 for Doomlings.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
Gen Con is awesome. Definitely go if you've never been.
I was excited that this year was like really the first year I felt like I had a great grasp on what Gen Con
Yes.
is and what I wanted to do there.
Mhm.
I feel like our schedules worked really well. I was able to play in more events this year than I ever have, and I had a lot of fun doing that. I ended up playing in an Ascension deck building tournament, which ended up going into a demo of Echo of Omens that I was going to do, and I just wanted to shout them out real quick. Ghost Galaxy, who does Keyforge, is about to bring out an asymmetrical trading card game a la Netrunner, but in its own theme in space, and obviously some different mechanics. But basically, you build 2 decks, you play heroes or villains, and then you swap in organized play and stuff like that. But you guys did a demo this year. Eric and I did a demo last year. It's something that for next year at Gen Con, I am very, very excited about. So that's the only reason it wasn't in my top 3.
Yeah.
But I did want to quickly shout out Echo of Omens. I think it's going to be a pretty big card game in this whole space. So cannot wait to play more of it next year. Maybe some organized play next year.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in it, or if you haven't heard about it, check out Echo of Omens, because I think it's going to make some appearances here on the channel in the coming months.
I'm really glad that you brought that up, because I had it in my notes, but I forgot to talk about it. I am very excited about organized play for that game. That's one of the games that that and Palworld, I think, are the 2 TCGs that I'm most excited about, like really diving into at a competitive level. And yeah, they did mention, Jonathan and I did a demo. They did mention that the plan, and I don't think any of this is like set in stone, but the plan is hopefully we'll be able to buy cards and play in organized play at next Gen Con. So
Yep.
I'm excited for that. They also gave us promo cards that apparently only 500 of exist in the entire world.
Boom.
So I have one of, we each have one of those, and
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where this game goes. I definitely want to support Ghost Galaxy, and anything that's Netrunner-esque is something I'm interested in. So
The one thing that I hadn't talked about that I did was that Echo of Omens
Yeah.
demo, and I had a lot of fun with that. It was at the beginning. I don't know if you remember, Eric. I was pretty confused at the early stages of that demo, but once I started to get it, I was having some fun with it. The asymmetrical aspect was really cool. I played as the hero, you played as the villain.
Shocking.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, so there was that, and then I think, just to echo what you already said about how I didn't buy everything that I wanted to buy, and there were some other things that I wanted to look into more, but I didn't feel like I missed out. I feel like that's just going to be something that I look into in the future. Instead of feeling like I missed my chance to get into something, I feel like I've added a lot of things to my subconscious that I can pull out at any point, or even save until next Gen Con and go try some new things there. It's huge and it's massive, and you're not going to be able to demo every game that's there, even if you tried. But that's part of the fun. It's not a bad thing. The fun is that there's always going to be more to do.
Yep.
I mean, to that point, one of the games we had the most fun with this year is a game that I've seen at Gen Con every single year, but just not touched, which was Dice Throne.
Yeah.
I've seen Dice Throne at Gen Con. Yeah, I've seen it at Gen Con every year, but I've never touched it until this year. And it's like, man, there's like 3 years I could have been playing this game.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we fully wrap up, this is more just like talking about the future of this channel and this podcast. There's a lot of cool stuff coming up. Some things I want to like sort of get into briefly. And if anyone's watching this on YouTube or in a place where you can comment, or if you want to join our Discord, there will be a link to the Discord in the description of everywhere this is posted, and you want to talk about it. I think kind of what I see happening for us in the future is getting into Echo of Omens, getting into Palworld, possibly doing some Dice Throne content if that really starts, interesting us further, like more and more. Netrunner is kind of making a weird comeback, so I've been going to some Netrunner events on Sundays every now and then, so I might actually throw up some Netrunner content on here. Android Netrunner, now owned by Null Signal Games. It's like fan run, but it's back, and I have a local community that plays it, so I might start throwing up some content. And then Gundam card game, we did play briefly. I might get back into that, I might not. I love Gundam. Cam and I had a ton of fun with it. We went to the Florida Regional, but that led into one of my biggest obsessions. When we went down to the Florida Regional, we did not do very well. But instead of wallowing in our loss, we went to Target and picked up some Beyblades and let it rip in our hotel room. And that led me down this rabbit hole of realizing there's a whole competitive Beyblade scene and a lot of strategic depth to Beyblade that I had no idea was there in this new generation Beyblade X. So I've been participating pretty much weekly in Beyblade X events and tournaments and consuming all sorts of content about like the meta, which blades and ratchets and bits you want to build your deck out of. You build a Beyblade deck, which is 3 Beyblades, and they have to all have unique parts, and the parts all do different things, and you want to, like, you're playing this mental game with your opponent about which blades are going to beat their blades, and it's a ton of fun. It has a lot more depth to it than I would have thought from the surface, so that's another thing we might cover on the channel. I've been hosting my own Beyblade events. Maybe I'll stream one to the channel. Who
It'd be
knows?
really fun to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a blast. I mean, when I host the event, I actually have it all set up with a slow-mo cam, and I'm using Streamlabs to run everything. So the only thing I'd literally have to do is just press stream, like stream this, and it would be up. So
Or at the very least, record it, put it up right after. Like,
yeah.
I definitely could see some Beyblade content coming. It's been a really fun journey.
Just to shout you out, you do a really good job of setting up those events.
You absolutely do.
Thanks. Yeah, it's a ton of fun. I did it kind of once just as like a for fun thing, but we hosted at a distillery here in Tennessee called Corsair. Shout out to them. They're awesome for letting us do that. We broke one of their mirrors at our last Beyblade event.
It gets crazy, man, when you let it rip.
When you let it rip,
always
it gets
know.
wild. But the dude paid for the mirror, so it's all good. We're fine. It's adults only, which is kind of fun because Beyblade, again, it's awesome that it's an activity that can attract people of like all ages, but my events are specifically 21 plus because we're holding them in a bar. And I think people really like that because it's like, all right, like it makes it much more approachable because it's like, I'm an adult who wants to play Beyblades. I don't feel as weird if it's like I'm at a bar and we're drinking beers and letting it rip.
Yeah.
And it's a blast. And I try to huge shout out to Middle Tennessee Gaming. They give me a bunch of free stuff to just give to people. So I hold raffles and give all that stuff away the whole time. And just trying to get people into the hobby because it's a blast. It's really fun. But yeah, so Palworld, Echo of Omens, Netrunner, Beyblades, Pokemon TCG, Keyforge,
Pokemon.
Dice Throne.
Maybe some Magical Athlete.
Maybe Magical Athletes.
Maybe we'll do some like tabletop streams.
Legends
like
of the Arena,
support
maybe.
games.
Legends
of the Arena.
Yeah. We were talking about doing a stream of just playing some of the games we got at Gen Con on stream, so maybe we'll do that sometime soon too. So stay tuned to the channel. We're definitely trying to get back into this thing, and one of those games will probably end up sticking really hard for us, and expect to see some more content of it. But if there's a game in particular that you specifically want us to cover, like I'm talking like we're doing a separate podcast just for that game, or doing like exclusive, like content just for that game, let us know in the comments, message us in the Discord. Come join the Discord either way. There's lots of rooms in there for you to hop in and play some games with the other people that are in there. It's not been super lively lately, but we're hoping to change that going forward. So would love to.
I've missed y'all. It was really fun to just pop in there and just say like, hey, maybe we'll bring the podcast back, and people like actually commenting.
Yeah,
so,
people actually care that we're doing that.
still
so
there.
Yeah.
I've missed you. Owen,
Yeah.
come over.
Owen, come over. All right.
I'm looking forward to being back and putting up some more videos soon. I've missed this and excited to be back into it.
Sweet.
And I'd love to make some more guest appearances if you guys are interested in that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Definitely, if we do some Dice Throne content, you're going to be on here.
Yes.
Maybe we'll do a little recap if we all go to that tournament. We can do a little recap.
I think it'd be really fun in every episode of this to just be like, hey, Who in our community was playing at some locals? Who did well at their tournament? We're gonna shout them out.
Yeah.
And hey, if you want to take that Applebee's Shark Bowl bet into your gaming group, let us know how that goes.
Yeah.
Because everybody loves Applebee's, and if you don't, you're not trying hard enough.
Maybe if enough people start doing that, we can make an Applebee's channel, and you can
Oh my
you can
gosh.
post
That's
photos of
wild.
yourself with your shark bowl to celebrate
That's a
your
good
win.
bit. That's a good bit.
All right. Well, anything else you all want to add?
I'm good to land this plane.
I said everything I needed to say.
Sweet.
Thanks for joining us, Jonathan, and thanks, boys,
course.
for going with me to Gen Con again this year. And yeah, that was just really special. It was cool to bro out with you guys there, and I've definitely had the post Gen Con blues, so this has been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will go to every Gen Con that there is in the future unless there is some crazy reason I can't go. I'm committed. Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
gonna be a yearly thing for me now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Best 4 days in gaming, y'all. All right.
That's right.
4 days a game.
Thank you for joining us. This has been the Casual Petitive Games Podcast. My name is Eric, and
I'm Cameron.
I'm Jonathan.
hey, you guys figured out what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
See you guys next time. Join our Discord, hang out with us.
Bye.
We'll see you. Bye-bye.